Alright, welcome back to Cullen's engineering videos. Today we're going to talk about basic schematic capture. Just some basic stuff. I'll go ahead and show you what we're going to do today. This is a simple schematic of an LED, or two LEDs actually, blinking in synchronized fashion with two transistors, four resistors, and two capacitors, and a voltage source. This will just be a header and whatnot. So I already filmed this video, and for some reason it didn't capture the audio. Looks like I stupidly didn't select the right audio device when I started. So 30 minutes later, I found out there was no emit, and I rendered the video, which took another 30 minutes. So, oh well. Maybe this will give me a chance to make this video a bit shorter, since that one was a bit long. I'm trying to keep them under 30 minutes if I can, within 15 to 30. If you think it's okay to go above that, let me know. Or if you think we should do less, or we should do more short videos instead of less long videos, let me know. I think that's the better way. It's the way I learn, at least. So what we're going to do today is go ahead and open Eagle. I have 7.1 on my taskbar here. Eagle 7.1. Okay, what's this about? Basic schematics. Huh. Oh, that's because I had to change something in here from the previous video. Oh well, just ignore that. You shouldn't see that. If so, just press OK. Alright, so now we're going to open up projects here. After we open Eagle, obviously. We're going to go into Eagle Projects, which is, of course, this folder, what we talked about last video. Our test projects folder. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a folder, or a folder inside Eagle Projects, and we're gonna put all of the tutorial videos or tutorial projects inside of this folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go new folder on top of the Eagle Projects folder. Yours might just say under case just Eagle. So we're going to go new folder, and we're going to type to I got caps lock on. Tutorials, and then I'm gonna click on test project, which is what we did last video, the first video, and we're gonna go ahead and drop it in tutorials, and you'll see over here, see how it just switched into this folder. So now what we can do is create another project outside of this. Like, say you wanted to make your own project for something, let's call it like custom project. Now it's not inside of the tutorials folder, and it doesn't mix you up with a big list of tutorials that we did previously. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this since we don't need that. Yes. Because it's currently in use. What do you mean it's currently? Oh. Just delete that. And now it's gone. Alright, so now we're going to open up the tutorials folder, which we just created, just like that, expand it, and we're going to right click on the tutorials folder and go new project. So we're going to create a project inside of this folder, just like this one, just right next to it. Directory, that's okay. And we're going to call this basic schematics. Yeah, basic schematics. This sounds pretty good. Alright. And of course, this is what we're making. Now, on top of this project that we just created, we right click and we go new schematic. No board, just schematic right now. Right click new, and then we go schematic. Alright, so this is what we're drawing. So what we're going to need is two LEDs, four resistors, two capacitors, two transistors, and a 2-pin header for the voltage source, power source. Alright, so now you notice we have all these tools on the side. Each one has its own option. I'm going to show you down at the bottom. See right here when I hover over a tool, something shows up. It tells you what's going on. So if we go over to the move command, it says move an object. Or here copy an object. Or here paste, insert content of clipboard. Or you could separate name and value from a part. This is a good way of knowing what you're supposed to do. So you get confused, take a look down here, see what it says. Like if you're having an issue moving a part, see what see it says left click to select object to move. That way you know what you need to do to move an object. Alright, so what we're going to do is talk a little bit about how Eagle is set up here. They have a thing called a command prompt, or a command line. If you're used to a CAD program such as Eagle, or I believe Rhino 3D has this as well, a command line, you can just type commands. You can go move, or you can do copy, or you can do I don't know, value. You can do class, I think is one. Yep, class is one. We'll get into that much later. We can do net, all of these things. But what we want to do is go add. This might take a minute to open. Okay, so it opened. We could have easily just pressed this add button right here, which is the same thing as typing it in here, which is basically what you're doing. When you type in move right here and pressing enter, all Eagle is doing is doing the same thing as you would. It's just clicking that button move right there. But what we want to do is we want to add some parts. I'm going to go ahead and press add. Alright, now these are the Eagle libraries. So these are all of the parts that are standard to Eagle. When you download Eagle, these are all of the libraries that come with it. There are many, many more out there as well, and there's lots of them in here as well. That's another good thing about Eagle, is it has so many libraries out there. So that's very good. Now let's take a look at what we need. What we need is 2 LEDs, again, 4 resistors, 2 capacitors, 2 transistors. So when you're in the add menu, you can just search for something. If in the search bar right here, say we're looking for the transistor, the 2N3904. So just type 2N3904 down there and then press enter. Okay, so it brings up anything that has 2N3904 in its saved in it. So here we go, 2N3904. It's a through-hole transistor in a TO92 package. This is the schematic symbol and the PCB symbol. So when you're editing your schematic, you'll be looking at this, but these pins are directly connected to these through-hole holes on the PCB. So when you transfer your schematic to your PCB, it directly connects whatever was connected to this pin to this. Makes it much easier when you're, making a circuit board. Alright, so we need 2 of these. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and we're going to press OK. So that's going to drop, it's going to allow you to drop this into your board, into your schematic. So we need 2 of these. I'm going to go boom. And then when you have something, on your cursor here, you can right click and it'll rotate. See how I'm doing that? I can right click and just rotate it around. Makes it a lot quicker than going over to the rotate tool. All you have to do is right click and it keeps rotating it. So I want to do is I want to put it like that. Just like that. Alright, now that we have that set, we can press escape. Escape on the keyboard, and that'll bring you to back to the add component dialog box. So what we need now is a resistor, and I happen to know what library the resistors and the capacitors are in, and I'll tell you exactly what that is. But what we're going to do is, say you're here, you have your transistor and everything now, but you want to get back to the big list of things. You're not sure what you're looking for, you just want to look through all of them. If you search for nothing right here, you just put nothing in the search menu and press enter. It'll list every library that's installed in Eagle here. So these are all of them. So what we're looking for is RCL, which is resistor, capacitor, and inductors. And I believe I see it right here. There it is. RCL, resistors, capacitors, and inductors. Based on the previous libraries, blah, blah, blah. A bunch of stuff in here telling you about what components are in it. So we're going to go ahead and expand that. And here's CUS. So here's capacitor, American style. I'm American, so we're going to go with the American style. Alright, so this looks like a good one. I like that schematic symbol. Unless there's some better ones in here. Let me see. We don't want to do surface mount now, right? We just want to do through hole. So let's go with a simple little through hole component like that. This symbol is just fine. And yeah, so CUS, we expanded RCL, we expanded capacitor US, and we selected this one, this big string here, C025-025X050. I believe that's the dimensions of the capacitor. Alright, so we need two of these, so I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to press OK. And now you can place this on the board, but we want it rotated, so we're going to right click and put it where we want. So we want one right about there, and we want another one rotated 90 degrees from the other, and put right about there. That looks good. Alright, so now escape, and that'll bring you back to the add menu, and we can find the resistors. So we have the capacitor, so we can close this or hide what's in there, and we can go find, let me see, resistors, European, resistor US. Here we go, American style resistor. Now here is all the resistors in American style. You have little 0201 package. Those are tiny little chips. You'd be so surprised how small those things are. So what we're looking for is, let's go with this package here. I like this one, 0207-10. We could go with this one actually. I like that one as well. But I don't know, it's up to you. Either one will work. I'm going to go with this one for now. And we need 4 of these. So we're going to select that, of course. Go to OK. And we're going to drop it. So we're going to go, we need 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Now, notice how I'm keeping it like the schematic here. This is a nice, neat schematic looking picture. Or as neat as it could be. So I'm going to try to put them in the same order as the picture here. Alright, so now let's go escape, and what we need is a header, and I happen to know what library that is in as well. That is in the pinhead library. So if we go to the P's, where are the P? Let me see. Pinhead, there it is. Okay, so this is where the pin headers are, and we need a 1x2, so that's it right there. Okay, so that's the footprint again. You got 2 little pins coming through. You can get a 90-degree one as well. That'll come out the side, but we want this one. And then that's the schematic symbol that we'll get as well. So I'll go OK, and I'm gonna rotate it a little bit so the pins face out that way, and I'm gonna put it right about there. That looks good. Alright, so I think we have everything, right? We got the, oh, we need the LEDs, of course. Okay, so press escape again. Hide these two. And we're going to search down here for LED. Alright, now there's a bunch of other stuff in here. This is like a driver for a bunch of LEDs. Here's a big LED display. All kinds of stuff that had the word LED in it. Here's another driver for high power LEDs. But what we want is this library under LED. Here we go. So then we want the 5mm LED. That's the standard ones you get at Radio Shack or Fry's, wherever you are. Standard little 5mm LEDs. There's little ones like 3mm ones, and there's also the big 10mm ones. But the standard ones, or the usual ones you come across, are the 5mm. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. So we're going to do the 5mm. Again, that's under LED library, in the LED again, and then LED 5mm. So we're going to drop 2 of these on the board by selecting that and pressing OK. Alright, now what we need to do is rotate this a bit, 90 degrees, and these need to be on the outside like that. Boom. Alright, now I think that's everything, right? 2 transistors, 2 capacitors, 4 resistors, 2 LEDs, and then a header for the power. Alright, that's it. So I'm going to press escape again. And this time we don't have to add anything else, so we can just X out of that, and we're good. Alright, so let's take a look at our schematic again. See how this is laid out. Let's try to clean this up, tighten everything in, so everything's close together again. So first thing I'm going to do is move these resistors closer together, and then I'm going to move the LEDs closer to those. Alright, so to move something, of course we need the move tool. Now notice how nothing is selected right now. Nothing is selected. Like there's nothing down here. If I click on this, nothing happens. As soon as we press the move tool, it's going to change that. So it says left click to select the object to move. So what we want to do is we want to move one of these resistors, or this resistor in particular, closer into there. So I'm going to move that right about, that looks good right there. Okay. And then we'll move this one. See how I'm still selected on a move? If you're having issues, take a look to see to make sure you're on the move tool. If you're not on the move tool, something else will happen. Like if you're on the rotate tool, you'll just be rotating. Or if you're on the mirror tool, you'll just start mirroring. But what you want to do is be on the move tool. So you left click on it and it'll snap to it. You can't let go. And then you just drop it somewhere else. Boom. And then again for this one, move that one in closer. Alright, now this is a neat little trick. I really like this about Eagle. If you grab a part like this, you move it, and then you drop it exactly on the pin or the device that you want to connect to, and then you move it off a little bit, see how that it automatically creates a net connected to that pin. Instead of us going over this net tool here and drawing a net between the two, it automatically connects it. And also it's a really good way to check to see if the net is actually connected, because sometimes you'll find in Eagle if sometimes you delete something and put it back and the net was still there, it doesn't actually snap to the net. So it's a good way to check and make sure that the net is connected to the device by moving it and seeing if that green net follows it. So now we know both these LEDs are connected to these resistors, which is exactly what we want. Alright, so now let's move this connector again closer up to here. So we have the power coming in this way. We're going to have the ground come down this way. So let's go ahead and run the power. We're going to do a net. So see how I'm set on move now. If I wanted to move a track, I couldn't, right? Because it's going to move this, which I don't want to do. So what you need to do is make sure you know what command you're on and know what you want to do, of course. So you say, okay, I'm on move and I want to place a net. So I'm going to come over here to net and I'm going to click net. Alright, so now I'm on net and I can change all these settings up here. I can change radius. I wouldn't mess with this in the schematics. I can change the style. Don't mess with that either. Net class, we'll get to that later as well. But what we really want to do is just click right at the end of where this little thing comes out and run it all the way over to LED 2. Boom, just like that. And then we can do the same thing from here to there. And I'm just left clicking and then left clicking again. Left clicking, left click. That's it. You just left click once, left click twice. Left click once, left click twice. Also, if you click out here, it'll just follow you until you hit a pin, and as soon as you hit a pin, it'll stop. And I'll go ahead and delete this real quick because we don't need that. That's just for an example. Alright, so let's take a look at the schematic again, see how this looks. So what we want to do is we want to put two capacitors between these two pins, right? Because they're right between the two resistors. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do the move tool again because we're on the delete tool. If I went on over here and I pressed on that, it would go away, right? Uh-oh. Also, if you end up doing that, just press Control Z. It'll undo it. Instead of going up here to edit, undo, which you can do, of course. But Control Z is a little quicker. So what we're going to do is go over to the move tool, press move. Zoom in a bit with your mouse wheel. Select the capacitor we want to move and move it right to where we want to go. So right there looks good. And then same thing with this one. So I'm going to move this one right to there. Just like that. Okay. Now what we need to do is same thing for the transistors. So what do we got? Transistor Q1. I don't know why they named this T1, T2. We can change that later. We'll get to that once we finish the rest of the schematic. But so we want to move this transistor over here. But notice how the base on this the emitter on this transistor is facing up, and the emitter on this transistor is facing down. And we wouldn't be able to fix that because if we rotated it, then it would look like this. So what we want to do is we want to mirror it and then rotate it 90 degrees. So I'll go ahead and show you that. So actually first let's move this transistor to where it needs to go, and then we'll take care of that. So we're on the move tool. We click on the device we want to move. Bring it over to where we want it. Actually I'm going to bring it down a bit like that. That looks good. Alright, so that looks good. And then what we need to do is, again, mirror this. So I'm going to move it up here so you can see it a little bit better. And we have a tool here called mirror. See this tool, mirror? Left click that so it's selected. Go to the object you want to mirror and just left click it. Wham! It's mirrored. That's all you gotta do. Alright, so now we need to rotate it so that it's facing downwards and the base is out on this side. So we're gonna go ahead to the rotate tool, click once, click twice, and that's it. Now we can go to the move tool again, pick it up, and move it to where we want to put it, which is right there. And I think that's it. That looks pretty good actually. Let's take a look at the schematic once again, make sure everything's right. So we have the resistors in row, capacitors, transistors, and then that. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish up routing these tracks. So I'm going to go ahead and click the net tool again. And let's do the ground first. So let's go ahead from this pin. Alright, see how it went directly off here and then took a 90-degree right here? You can change that if you want to, just by right clicking. It'll cycle through. See how, watch up here when I right click. See how it's cycling through that when I'm right clicking? You can physically come up here and click that and it'll switch between the two. I find it quicker just to cycle through the right click though. So it's a nice feature of Eagle. Alright, so let's go ahead and press one there. And again, I don't want it to do that, so I'm going to right click so it, does a 90-degree out here instead of the other way. And then left click on pin 1. There we go, we're connected. And then we just need to connect the base, or sorry, the emitter of the transistor to ground, because this is ground, right? Yeah. And this is power. Alright, next what we need to do is connect this side of the low side of this resistor to the collector of the transistor. So we're going to go left click, left click, left click, left click. And notice how it ended the track or the net when I hit the pin. If I missed the pin, it would have kept on going. And then as soon as I hit it, then it stops. So be aware if you think you hit it but it keeps going, you know you didn't hit it. So go ahead and press undo or delete the tracks that you placed down and try redoing it. Alright, so now we need to connect the capacitor to this track. So we're going to go connect that from there to there, from there to there. And then I need to take a look at the schematic again. So let's take a look at the schematic. So we have, let's see, this capacitor is connected to that base. This capacitor is connected to that base. Okay. And this is connected to that, and this is connected to that. Okay, so let's do that first. Let's go ahead and select net, and we're going to connect the base of this transistor to that resistor, the closest resistor on the inside. And then same thing here, from here to there. That's right, right? Does that look right? Transistor there? Yep, that's right. Okay, good. Alright, next what we need to do is connect this capacitor to this node and this capacitor to that node. Now, this is an application where you wouldn't use the 90-degree angles just because it would look a little bit weird. It looks better if you do a 45 like this. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put a 45. The way you do the 45 is you either come up here and click this, wire bend style 1, or you just right click as you're routing this net. So I'm gonna keep on right clicking until I find the right style, and then I'm going to drag out to the corner and then left click, just like that. Then same thing for this one, just like that. And I think that's it, right? Is that right? That's connected to there. That's connected to there. Yep. Okay. All right. So let's set some values and whatnot to these devices here. So we have LED 1, LED 2. What about the color? You know, what about the values of these? Or where do you buy this? You know, we have these things called attributes in properties for each component in Eagle. So what you can do is you can come over to this info button, the info tool, and you can select any component, really, a track even, in Eagle, and see exactly what's going on with that device. So we see this is an LED1. It's this package. It's in this library. It doesn't have a value yet. We can set the angle. We can set the position. I wouldn't mess with that. Don't mess with smash right now. Then same thing with the transistor and the connector. You can even see here, this is a track. The name is actually N. I don't know why they do that money sign with a number, but that's a name of an unnamed net. It's just a net, you know, a node or whatever. Okay, but what we want to do is set a value for each one of these components here. So what I'm going to do is come over to this value tool. See that value? The name tool has a little R2 and then grayed out number, and then the value is the opposite. R2 is grayed out and the value is 10K. Or you could just come up here and go value, enter, and it selects it, which is great about Eagle. I love the command prompt, especially once you get used to it. It's great. Alright, now I forgot what the value of these. So it's 470 ohm, 470 ohm, 39K, and 39K. So what you do is when you have the value tool selected, you come over to the component and you left click it. We go 370R. That's the way I like to do it, at least. When it's just ohms, I like to put a capital R at the end of it. 370R. And then this is 39K. And this one's 39K. Let's check this again, make sure that's right. Oh, it's 470 ohm. Why didn't you guys tell me? Come on. I'm just kidding, you know. Alright, so we got that taken care of. Now we need the capacitors, and I happen to know that these need to be 10 microfarads. So let's go 10U. And same thing for this, 10U. Okay, and remember how we said that the T for transistors? Transistors are usually Q. I don't know why this is T, but we're going to change that. So we're going to come over to here to the R, the name tool. We're going to switch to name. If you don't want to do that, you can just type up in the command prompt name and press enter, and it'll switch. And we're going to click on the transistor. So this is going to be, we're going to change this to Q2. Instead of T2, and then same thing with this transistor, so this would be Q1. Also, you want to make sure that each component has its own name. Like, two components can't have the same name, so be aware of that. Okay, I'm not going to get into attributes now. I'm just going to stick with names and values for now. What we can do is set a value for this to say like red, and then this to green. Actually, let's do GRN. That looks better. Red and green. So now this little circuit will blink red, green, red, green, red, green. And I think that's it. So I just cut 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes off this video. It's a slightly long video. One thing I'm going to show you is show you how to move something. So what I want to do is move this a little bit closer. Let's do right there. And notice how this line is crooked now. That's kind of not very neat. So what we can do is select the corner of this track in the move tool and just move it over until it's straight up and down. Alright, so that looks pretty good. What about a little piece of text saying what this is exactly? So let's go ahead and find the text tool. Where's that? Label, attribute, dimension. Where's text? Text. There it is, text. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to type LED blinker circuit. Let's do that. Press enter. And we can place it right there. That looks pretty good. And then press escape and escape again. And then now see how this is green? I don't like that. We should change the color of that. So let's go over the info option here. let's go info tool and we'll select on this name, this piece of text. And see how this layer, we haven't gotten the layers yet. We'll get to that soon. But the layer that this is on right now is nets, which is not good. That's the same net as this. And now that'll get confusing later. So what we're going to do is change that layer to the info layer, which is exactly what that is. That's a piece of info. And then press OK. Also, you notice you can edit it here also. So let's make this all capital. I'm going to put LED blinker circuit, just like that. And then actually let's go shift enter for a new line. See how it says shift enter to add a new line? Let's play by Colin Williams. Uh-oh, that's not good. So let's go ahead and change that. Let's go to info again. And what you can do is you can change this align from the bottom left to top left. And press OK. And now see how it changed that origin, I would say, for this object to the top left. You can actually change it to center left. That's actually better. There we go. That's what we want. Alright. So I think that's it for now. Later on we'll show you how to make the circuit board for this. Right now all we did was create the schematic here and add all these components and whatnot. If you have issues, just pause the video and look over it again. It's really quite simple. Maybe we'll get into some of these design rule checks later and some other things. So the next video what we're going to do is tidy up this a little bit more, and then we're going to start on the circuit board. And then after we're done with the circuit board, we'll go ahead and do a more complicated circuit board and some libraries, some more complicated libraries. So that'd be good. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to save this file. For some reason I forgot to do that, so let's go up to File, Save As. I'm going to put it in Tutorials, Basic Schematics, and we're going to call this Basic, oops, got caps on, Basic Schematics. .sch. There we go. So now we got this saved. Save all. And we can go ahead and close that. We can close this. And I'll leave this up for you guys to look at. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the video. I definitely like doing these videos, and I'll definitely do more in the future. But yeah, let me know if you like the video. Give me a like if you think it's good. And I'll go ahead and keep on doing it. And comments, of course. So I want to hear what you guys think. So yeah, we'll see you in the next video.